In one of Cairo's crowded streets, there lived a man who paused his own life to carry the pain of others. He wasn't rich, famous, or powerful. He was just a simple butcher, yet his heart was greater than most. This is the true story of Uncle Zaza, the man who turned compassion into a way of life.
وضع في القرآن الكريم من القاهرة. كان الصحابة على عهد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم.
His name was Siam Abdul, known by everyone as Uncle Zaza. For many years, he worked as a humble butcher in the old district of Sayyeda Zainab in Cairo. His life was simple: work, family, and faith. Until one day, while passing by Children's Cancer Hospital, located not far from his neighborhood, something touched his heart forever. He saw mothers sitting on the pavement, waiting for their children to finish chemotherapy. He saw fathers counting the few coins left in their pockets, wondering how they would make it back home after treatment. He saw fear, exhaustion, and hope, all mixed in the eyes of little children fighting cancer. That day did not pass like any other day. Those images stayed in his mind all evening as he sat quietly in his small home. In Egypt, and in many cultures, the butcher's trade is often seen as a tough profession, one that belongs to strong men. But the heart is another story. Sometimes, the strongest hands hide the gentlest souls. Uncle Zaza sat thinking in confusion. What can I do to help? I'm just a butcher. I know nothing about medicine. All I have is my small shop and this humble house. Hours passed as he thought. Until a smile lit up his face. Why not? Even this small shop could be the start of something good, even if it's simple. And so he rose with a dream, a small idea in his mind, but one that would leave a great mark on the world. He gathered his savings, sold what he could, and bought an old van. On its side, he wrote a few words: free rides for cancer patients. Every morning, he stood outside the hospital gates, waiting for the children and their families, driving them from the nearby metro station, which carries the name of his neighborhood, to the hospital and back, completely free. Whether in the burning sun or the cold rain, he was always there. No cameras, no sponsors, no media. Just one man, a smiling face, and a heart that refused to stay silent before pain. The small van soon became famous in Sayyida Zainab as the children's van. Later, the story spread across all of Egypt about a kind man who drove sick children to the hospital for free. He would fill the van with smiles, laughter, and even balloons, trying to ease the pain of those fragile little hearts. But Uncle Zaza didn't stop there. When he discovered that many families came from faraway villages with nowhere to stay, he opened his own modest home for them. A tiny house, but filled with warmth. He cooked for them, offered them beds, and treated every child as if they were his own. When people tried to give him money, he simply smiled and said, "No, thank you. This is between me and God." He believed that true charity is not something you show, it's something you feel. He gave without asking, smiled without expecting, and never stopped, not even for a single day, until his health began to fade. His story eventually reached the national television, and they invited him for an interview. A humble man, wearing his simple clothes, smiling with that same kind, peaceful face. Time passed, and by 2022, the kind man began to feel pain in his body. Weak, but still devoted, he continued his service. His friends noticed his exhaustion and begged him to see a doctor, but he kept smiling and said he was fine. Until one day, his body could no longer carry his great soul. Uncle Zaza passed away, news of his death spread quickly. Thousands mourned him. All of Egypt wept for the man who gave without limits. At his funeral, the little van he once drove followed behind his coffin, and children from the hospital stood by his grave, crying as they said goodbye. But the truth is, men like him never really die. Because every act of kindness leaves a light that never goes out. He didn't build a hospital. He didn't raise millions. But he built something far greater, faith in the goodness that still lives within humanity. He taught us that you don't need money to make a difference. You just need a heart that feels. So wherever you're watching this right now, if you've ever felt too small to change the world, remember Uncle Zaza, the butcher who became an angel. Because sometimes the simplest act of kindness can echo louder than all the noise in the world. Be the reason someone smiles today. Be a spark of goodness, a spark of light and hope.